DTZ Entertainment Presents Coffee Bar Stories, a talk show adjacent comedy podcast with your three hosts, Dad, Son, and Bubba. Live from the coffee bar, it's your DTZ News.
Sun's off tonight. That's good because we don't have any DT news to report tonight. So have a good evening. Oh, time for two dad jokes. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. I got a great joke about construction, but I'm still working on it.
Hey man, I just found out, dude. My girlfriend's cheating on me. What do I do about that?
Dude, that sucks. What are you gonna do?
I don't know, man.
Are you tired of her shit? Or are you done with his laziness?
Well, then we are the lawyers for you.
We don't lose, we only win.
So with Yes We're Winners Law Firm, the only loser is your spouse.
Okay, now with a record of all wins, let our completely satisfied clients tell you for themselves.
I walked into my house to my wife talking on the phone to her mom saying she was gonna divorce me. So I did it first with Yes We're Winners. I won and got everything from the house to the car to the kids.
Hi, I'm Ted. Coworker let me in on the cheating wife, so he told me to go right away down to Yes, We Are Winners Law Firm to hire them right away. I did what he said and haven't changed my smile since. Thank you, Yes, We Are Winners Law Firm.
So get this, man. I went inside my house and found my wife doing it with the mailman. So instead of getting upset, I went to Yes We're Winners Law Firm and I divorced her. And I got it all. I got the house, the yacht, got the whole new house. But you know what I didn't get? The credit card bills. Thank you, Yes We're Winners.
I'm lazy, stupid, good for nothing, and I don't have to change a thing. I got Yes We're Winners Law Firm first, and now she's paying me. I love them guys. She keeps me in the manner I feel I should be kept in. Xbox on the right, PlayStation on the left, and a beer in the middle. Thank you, Yes We're Winners Law Firm. Without you, I'd have to work. All right, now it's time for the coffee bar discussion. And I'm getting the topic on this one. Dad's taking the lead. And it's going to be on your favorite comedian. And first, before you start and get all your BBD stuff going, you have to, first, you get to pick a couple of them. Don't go crazy on this big, long rant. We're not making this 2-day long. But also, you got to tell the era they're from might be needing to be explained because of their comedy and some of the reasons behind why you liked them. Not a bunch, just some. All right? And since I started it, I'm going to go ahead and go and just throw out one of the favorites when I was young that I first found. And believe it or not, he was kind of clean, I guess, for the most part. And I didn't get a lot of his comedy in the early years, but it was Gallagher, because I like how he smashed things, and I like the fact,
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he had all these props and stuff. It was funny, and he did funny jokes and stuff too. And he may have got a little political, but I didn't understand it because I wasn't political back when I was a kid, so I didn't catch the whole meaning behind a lot of it. But Gallagher, he was one of the first ones that I liked as a kid. All right, Bubba, what was one you liked?
One of my all-time favorites has got to be Dane Cook.
Of course.
I've randomly found him on the internet. Was pretty young. YouTube had just become a thing.
Yeah.
And of course, comedy was something everyone looked at on YouTube. And so I searched around and I found Dane Cook. And that was some of the funniest crap I've ever seen. I was laughing for hours. They used to have his entire comedy special, Vicious
Now-
Circle, on there.
It's still
Okay.
on there, actually.
Well, now, question on that for you. Now, would you consider his comedy or him, and I guess why you were turned on to him, was it more for your generational type thing for you? Like he was hitting with what his act was about, hit home with
Yeah,
you with
um,
how you were living or way the times were for you or something?
I don't really. I'd have to say yeah, because some of the stuff that he was talking about was like stuff that he did when he was younger or in college or something like that. And
Okay.
he had stories like one time he did a B&E,
That's one of my favorite jokes by him. It has to be.
Okay.
Um,
and he was like just kind of chickening out of that stuff, and
I see what you're
I
saying.
could like half-ass imagine myself in similar situations.
Okay. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and before I say a little about mine, because I was gonna say Dane Cook before him, though I think the reason why I got turned on to him was more so you showed me him, and it was the car alarm joke that I really liked.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Being turned on to comics, that's the big thing is influence of different people and stuff. Which
Oh,
one?
especially. But a different comedian than I'd have to say other than Dane Cook would have to be Robin Williams, because his comedy is completely different than when you see him on TV. Because for the most part, you're not. A lot of people grew up with him in the family films, not more so in the rated R films, like I think it's called Birdcage he was in.
Yeah.
That was, but most people remember the family films. But his comedy is nothing like that. It's
No.
it's actually a lot more dirty, and it's just great fun all around because he just has weird, random stories you wouldn't think that he'd have.
If you
And
wanna
I really
see-
enjoyed him a lot.
If you want to see a lot of him do stand up, you'd have to. He did a lot of that for the homeless people. Whoopi Goldberg was involved. It's just a bunch of comics.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but him, her, there was a few others that kept doing it. That did that and stuff, and his comedy is he's completely risque and raw. when
Oh
he
yeah,
does his
it's
stuff.
great. There was one about something about cocaine. I can't remember it completely, but I think it was about a bear and cocaine and why it would be a bad problem. And then he was like, "Of course it's a fucking bad problem. You don't give bears cocaine." He was like, "Why would anybody think this would be an okay solution to a problem or something like that?" And it was one of the funniest things I heard. And I'm just sitting there thinking, this is not the genie from Aladdin I know.
Yeah, he was pretty good. There's so many comedians though that stick out though. One of the most favorite of mine that I got to watch was at a young age, uncensored and everything, was Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Yeah, that's a
That
good one.
was so funny and everything. And the era I grew up in, I didn't grow up around a lot of black folks, but the way he had talked, I completely could vision everything he's saying. The ice cream truck, the barbecue, everything. I was like, adding all of how funny the whole thing is, Plus, never mind, I'm not supposed to be listening to him to cuss words like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You gotta figure I'm probably 10, 11, I guess, when that one came out on cable. I could see maybe 12 at the best. It's still not something I should be watching, but it was awesome. I loved it. I even seen his Raw at the theater.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, at the local one. I paid $1.50. We sat there. Me and my buddy in high school, we loaded our jean jackets up with 4 beers in each pocket. Snuck them in. Eddie Murphy, Sam Kinison. Now Sam Kinison, he's probably the best for me. He was perfect at the time for me. When he was getting big, I was in high school. I could relate to what he was saying. and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, Sam was like the comedian for me.
One of my other favorite comedians is Bo Burnham, and one of my favorite specials that he did, because he not more so like one of his jokes or whatnot, but like the special that I really liked was the first one I ever seen. I think it was like the first one they had on like Netflix or something, but it's called What, like What, and I mean, he's a musical comedian. A lot of his comedy involves music, and the way he's able to just, I don't know. How would you say he does his comedy? Because I know you've seen a lot of his comedy.
He's also another one of my favorites. He's very out of pocket.
He don't care at all. If he can make the joke out of it, he's going for it. And usually it never comes off distasteful or in any
Sounds
way.
like Steve Carr. There's a British comedian that's really risque. I don't think he has any limits. I think he makes even Ricky Gervais blush.
Yeah, I like Ricky
he does not care.
Because I'm trying to find the whole track listing because it'll tell me the jokes.
I think his
Bo
last
Burnham
name's
did.
Carr. I don't know. I'll tell you. You know who? I don't know if nowadays I wouldn't consider him funny, but back in his heyday, Howie Mandel was hilarious. I used to have, this is how old it is. I was in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th or 8th grade, cassettes of his stand-up, of Howie Mandel. We used to play him in our Catholic school down in the cafeteria.
How much trouble you get in for that?
None. Howie wasn't dirty.
Oh, okay.
He didn't cuss. The only one I couldn't play when the nuns were around was Sam Kinderson, because I had his Louder Than Hell.
Oh.
His first one that came out on cassette tape. And that one I couldn't play when they were around. I couldn't play my, I think I had Eddie Murphy on cassette too. Oh, Cheech and Chong. That's why I couldn't. Now I couldn't even bring that to the school.
Oh yeah.
That I couldn't even get in the door because I had their "Let's Make a New Dope Deal" cassette. It was a full cassette album,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even bring that into the school. No.
Another.
I'd have gotten in real trouble for that one.
Oh yeah. Another good comedian is Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
I like his bits with the puppets. They're really good.
He amazes me with that work he does with
Oh
those.
yeah.
Peanut has to be one of my favorite puppets of his, hands down. Right next to Bubba J, I think. The hillbilly puppet. I can't remember his name. I think
Bubba.
it's
That's
Bubba.
his name.
Okay. Yeah, I really like him too. He's fucking dopey as all hell.
My favorite is Ahmed.
Of course, yes.
No, I like Walter. Walter's
I like
the
Walter
best.
too.
Because Walter just don't care, that old codger.
Yeah, last I seen, he actually added someone new. It's like a fucking kid, like one of the kid always on his phone texting and shit. And that's this new puppet, and I guess he just doesn't care and just always spouting out random shit. And I have yet to see any of the bits yet, but the one little, I guess, trailer or whatever I guess he had for it, a little reel I guess on Facebook. It looked pretty funny. So
My two other favorites are also Bo Burnham, and the third is, he's not technically a comic, but it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen, is Cocaine Shark
oh, definitely.
from Vine, way back when I was in high school.
Yeah.
No, the Cocaine T-Rex.
Yeah, it was the cocaine T-Rex. It was a guy who took a hand puppet T-Rex and made it look like he was snorting cocaine. He would run it through some powdered sugar and then just do some random shit with it and all of that. And, 7-second clips on Vine. You had to do something quick and flashy to get your audience on there, and he got it.
Yeah,
with the quick,
it
flashy, just random outburst. And you just had, it's either like, what the hell did I just watch, or you're busting out laughing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just some random spur of the moment. Every now and then it tickles your funny bone.
And it's always, and for whatever reason, it's died. It doesn't exist anymore. But when it does come up in the random, it always comes up at the best moment ever possible. It's like it's sentient and it knows when it's supposed to show up. because it may
That's
have been
cool.
cringy in the past, but now it has timing.
Now it has timing, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Far as any other comedians, we kind of covered all the really good ones, except for a lot of other people's favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like Ricky Gervais. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, I
I'm
like Ricky
sorry, that
Gervais.
guy's just brutally honest, and you don't like it. You just are
Gotta find,
are- you,
gotta
you're
find a
weird.
different guy.
I'm sorry, you're just weird.
Ricky Gervais is pretty good. I kind of like some of Bill Burr's stuff.
Billy's he.
I like more so the
tries
shows
to
he
come
does.
out like he's a tough guy, and then he wants to turn and be all nice and make like he apologized for him. I have a problem with because he apologized for his comedy. He does it in the comedy. He makes these jokes and then he's apologizing for these jokes. But I'm pushing the limit because I said it. Well, you said it, then you immediately apologize for it. That's like a little kids, slapping each other, then apologizing immediately, like it's no problem. It's over. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just because you said it, then apologize, don't change the fact that you said it. You know what I mean? And he's trying to be all. That's why I don't like Bill Burr too much. He just kind of
I don't really watch any
stick to it.
newer comics though.
No, neither do I. I can't really find any other new ones.
I've found a lot of them that are like small places that people will put up, not on dry bars much as kind of just randomly. There's a dude that does with music, and he has like a keyboard and stuff. He looked like a young kid, but by now he's probably somewhere in his 30s. But back then he was probably in his mid-20s, 25, and so.
Yeah.
Could be a little older because you know how you guys look young into your 30s still. But he was really good. And I don't remember his name for the life of me, but I can remember skits he did, and they were really funny. See, that's hard
That's good.
to get found like that. You're right. There's nobody big that's good
Yeah,
anymore.
one guy that I can only think of because you mentioned the dry bar comedy is Shane Smith. I guess he was like the one really heavily tattooed comic that goes around. He had one about him being like an ex-gang member and whatnot, turned his life around, and then went to go work for this church, and brought his buddy along, and they thought that the kids were there because they were being bad kids. It's because the kids didn't want to read in school. That was the only problem. But they were under the impression that the kids were like bad kids. So he's like, all right. He's like, why don't we? His partner's like, why don't we just scared straight them? And he's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. He's like, I thought if he gets too out of control, I'd be able to pull him back. But apparently the dude just went a little too far, scared a kid so badly, he pissed his pants, and a whole bunch of other things. The guy's like, I did not mean for this, and then come to find out that it wasn't because they were bad kids, it's because they didn't want to do their Bible homework or something like that.
That's funny.
But he has a few other ones, but that was one of the jokes that he had that stood out to
Yeah.
me. But I think Shane Smith is a decent comic. We actually listened to one of his things that I could find on Spotify when we took a trip up north somewhere.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, comedy anymore. It's hard to find. You're gonna find guys you like, or people you like, and there's some you just aren't gonna like. I like the old folks, the old comics. I like their older stuff too. A lot of them don't even do it no longer. Most of the guys I liked are done with it and stuff. But there's some that go out, like Rodney Dangerfield. He was hilarious. He was great.
Yeah.
And stuff. But a lot of these guys that I liked were always on. That's how you could tell.
Yeah.
They're always on.
Another big problem with like trying to find new comics now is that they never made it anywhere. They had that one good thing and then nothing else afterwards. And then you're like, well, that's it, just one, and not even like a whole EP or something, like a little
It's
thingy.
like Jerry Seinfeld doing the same act. It's the observation comedy, you know.
Yeah, observational comedy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's saying different things in the shows. Yes, I get that, but it's the same type. It's not he didn't mix it up that much back in his day, you know. I mean, he may have molded as he went on and in.
Yeah.
If he stuck with it, but observation is observation. Just like if you only do hand puppets, like Jeff Dunham, you got to get more hand puppets.
Yeah.
Just one ain't gonna cut it.
I like the way you said that too. You're like, you got to get more hand puppets. I mean, like, duh, you got to. Like, you have no choice now, man. You're
you know what
invested.
I'm saying? You can't just beat the dead horse.
Oh yeah, no.
You know.
Well, to give it to Jeff Dunham, he
just like-
definitely doesn't. Even with adding new puppets all the time and everything, it's every single puppet is kept true to its own little personality.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
He keeps a decent flow with it, which is pretty cool. Because there's not many comics like you're saying that can keep that
exactly.
up like he can.
Because like the observation, how much can you observe before you're observing? I get that. Okay.
I mean, there's also a better way of doing it than the way, like, you're complaining the way Jerry Seinfeld does. Because he does it in the same deadpan expression way he does every single joke.
Well, yeah, but no,
Because I've watched
but
with
I'm
you
talking,
and noticed.
they're like one-sided comics. Everything's just, it's different material, yes, but it's the same way.
It's
every
delivered
time.
the same way.
It's
And
sort of like actors like Ben Stiller.
they always get the same
They're-
role.
Yeah,
each
Ben
time.
Stiller.
Or-
He doesn't divert from what, one or two different character styles that
Yeah,
I've
I mean,
noticed.
I like the guy, but
Great actor, yeah, but it basically plays the same role in every film. Yeah, I do agree. It's also kind of like those Hallmark movies you see during the thing. It's always the same exact movie every time, just a different couple, different town.
Yeah,
That's a whole
I want to
different
know
brand.
if they do have different writers for that.
For the Hallmark movies?
Yeah, because
No.
because are they just kind of like tweaking it or what? Because if they're rewriting, if every show is literally rewritten completely, that is comedy right there, buddy.
Dude, you gotta tell me right now.
You're telling me you're paying somebody to write this and change, how they change it. You guys been
Yeah,
exposed to it
definitely.
by grandma quite heavily, but to me that's comedy. You would have somebody rewrite this
Oh, hell no. They have
instead
some-
of it's about a sleigh this time. It's gonna be about how the white winter is not coming and then it shows up.
Or it's not the fucking big businessman that she falls in love with. This time it's the small, down on your luck dude.
Yeah,
And then the next movie they flop it.
Yeah,
Every
it's like-
single time?
It's like, don't tell me you guys are writing this shit.
They have to- I swear they have to have like some generator back there. They're like, okay, this is what we want to happen. Write the script, and it's like,
Yeah,
I got you.
that's kind of. I think that's how it is.
They
Yeah, it
literally
feels
they,
like it.
they literally just take out the names,
Or-
the town, like all the names, maybe some of the locations, and then what, like one or two plot points change. I don't know.
or it's a bunch of like interns that they hire from college that are in like
Their first writing
classes.
gig.
They're
Yeah.
literally just like, okay, if we just keep plagiarizing and filing suits, they'll never find out. It's like if we come up with something original, they'll think we fucking
Great.
plagiarized.
Now we'll have to see if this shows up on some comics in his show. All right, boys. We'll go ahead and we'll end this session of coffee bar discussions, and we'll move on to some fancy commercials and come back after that.
Rella Radio Show, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. DJ CO1.
Coffee Bar Stories is sad to announce that a close friend of the show's has passed away recently. We would like to give our heartfelt condolences out to his family and to also let everyone know that Rick will be missed dearly. So please continue listening to our shows. Thank you for your support. Now, was that a good idea? A couple in Michigan was caught using a stolen credit card at a Tractor Supply store after the woman used her rewards card for the transaction. That exposed a larger scheme where they broke into more than a dozen storage units. The credit card had been stolen from a storage unit lot which had just so happened to have a gun safe broken into with guns stolen. Other units had been burglarized, which led authorities to search the couple's home. There they uncovered 40 stolen guns, thousands of dollars worth of stolen property, thousands worth of meth. Detectives questioned the pair and they confessed to breaking into dozens of the units in the past months. They admitted to selling the stolen goods online and using the stolen credit cards. The pair was charged with various things, including possession of meth, safe breaking, and the most serious charge, conducting a criminal enterprise in addition to more. No word on how many points will be deducted from their Tractor Supply loyalties account.
What? No, that was not a good idea.
Put your hands together for Bubba's Corner. And here's your host.
Hey everyone, I'm going to introduce you to one of my most favorite movies, Interstellar, written, produced, and directed by Christopher Nolan. Interstellar is a sci-fi movie that takes place in a dystopian future where the food on planet Earth is running low. So NASA, which is underground, comes up with a mission to send astronauts through a wormhole into another galaxy in hopes of finding a planet that could sustain life. Now, the reason the food stores are running low is there is a blight on Earth's crops. And in the movie they mentioned that okra is now extinct due to the blight.
I don't even know what
And the
okra
only thing
is.
left that they can grow is corn.
Now, okay, now the corn, does it not grow, like you're only getting we'll say a lighter yield of it? The kernels aren't as
Yeah.
big? Okay.
Because
So,
the whole thing is like
Because
there's dust.
corn, from, well, you know where we live and everything.
Yeah.
Corn's a big thing around here. It's a pretty, robust
Abundant,
type
yeah.
of plant.
Yeah, and in this, it's all covered in dust. There's dust storms throughout the entire Earth. It's like the return of the Dust Bowl. And the reason I call it dystopian is because in the school that the protagonist character's kids are going to, they're teaching the kids that the moon landing was fake and was faked in order to bankrupt the Soviet Union.
I believe it.
So that's
I believe that's what really happened. So
yeah, that's what the whole thing is. And
okay, so it was done on by what they're saying. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it was done on a. They really meant it was done on the film set.
Yeah, that's what they're teaching in schools now because they need caretakers, not explorers.
Oh, trying to squash. I get it. I see what you're saying. They're
Yeah.
trying to squash the adventurers. They need the people to go out there and actually set up a count
Yeah.
and get everything up and running because here's about to go,
Yeah, exactly.
south
They're-
or whatever.
Yeah,
guys.
it's pretty
Okay.
much the planet. Is
I
dying,
get it
and
now.
They want to
See, I
find
was
somewhere
kind of
to save
lost
it.
in that movie with that. Seeing I didn't pay close attention in the first place.
Yeah,
but
it takes several watches. I picked up more details on my fourth watch through that I didn't get on my first watch through.
Okay.
And that's a killer movie. The movie is like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it does.
It's on
take some
par with the
patience.
Lord of the Rings, and I can't sit through that.
Yeah, it's wild, but it's a good movie. And the best part is the music.
Mm-hmm.
It's really beautiful. It's all organ music.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the protagonist is an ex-NASA pilot now a farmer. And a series of events unfolds where he ends up finding NASA with his daughter. Now, NASA is sort of underground secret in this. They don't want people to know that NASA's still around and still doing missions.
Oh, so
Because they'll
basically,
think their tax dollars are being wasted.
oh, basically
okay.
they think NASA just disbanded. They broke it up, dissolved the group.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like what they had done to NASA, so to speak.
And throughout the entire movie, Cooper's daughter, Murphy, her bookcase is sort of a very significant role in the movie because
Yeah.
that's where they find the coordinates to find NASA, is through a gravitational anomaly coming from her bookcase.
Well, head either to Texas or Florida, and they find NASA.
But yeah, they end up
or so NASA got a space station, or they're colonized somewhere.
They don't even have a space station yet. They just have a ship, and then they had a rocket that they sent out into this wormhole with pioneers to go test out possible habitable planets. And then the whole point of this movie is to send Cooper, because he's an extremely great pilot, which is kind of the whole driving thing to this, is he's doing it to save humanity. So he finds NASA, they send him on the mission to go and find the other pioneers that they had sent in secret on a mission called the Lazarus mission. And they go to 2 of the planets. And there were 3 altogether.
Okay.
So it's a little complicated.
So I'm gonna guess that there's gonna be somebody lying somewhere in this.
The mission is to go to another galaxy to look for an all clear signal on a habitable planet. There are 3 planets altogether, and they were only able to visit 2. The first planet they go to, they call it Dr. Miller's planet, where an astronaut named Dr. Miller was supposed to be waiting for them. And she set off the all clear signal, meaning there's life here, there's organic stuff here. Come check it out. So they go down to her planet, which is an all water planet. The entire planet is just made of water.
Oh.
And the whole problem with
There is
this
no
mission,
there's no core to the planet whatsoever.
they don't exactly get that.
Well, you could.
Oh, okay,
you probably-
okay.
yeah,
They don't explain that far.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, yeah. you
I
probably
was
would
because
be
I was
able to
wondering
tell.
if they. I mean, the 3-hour, 4-hour movie might have explained it, but okay, that's fine.
But yeah, I'm gonna put right now. I was gonna wait to say it just to make it more dramatic, but the entire mission is centered on time. Time is a resource that they cannot waste, because once they get through the wormhole, it takes them to a new galaxy where the central star isn't even a star. It's a massive black hole that they called Gargantua,
Okay.
and the water planet is closest to it.
Oh, okay.
So 1 hour on the water planet is 7 hours on Earth.
We wait for Elder
Oh,
Scrolls 6
okay,
there.
yeah. I remember. I don't know if it was that movie or something else. I remember something talking about being somewhere and the time frames
Yeah,
were real skewed.
yeah, it was probably Interstellar, because they went off of actual science like gravitational relativity and stuff like that. And this movie is actually awarded with the most accurate visual representation of a black hole ever, just based off of science and numbers.
So what they have for the black hole, have you compared that to the picture that NASA has of their black hole that they have?
So the only picture that we have of a real black hole is redshifted, and it's incredibly dark with like a red outline.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
that's
so
not
theirs
really
is
appeasing as compared to
Oh,
Interstellar's black hole. where
Oh,
it's
well,
got the
it's-
accretion disk.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry, a bit of a nerd.
No, it's
That
all
stuff.
good. Keep going.
But yeah, they go to this planet only to find that there's nothing there. And they went to go explore a little bit, and what they thought were mountains were not mountains at all.
What are they?
They were waves.
Oh shit.
Waves being created by the force, the tidal force of the black hole.
Yeah.
So instead of normal waves that you'd have here on Earth, they were huge tsunamis that were like reaching up into the sky.
Oh god.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they end up losing one of their crew members on that planet,
Never
And-
forget he's resting spaghetti.
and they end up waterlogging the engines and they survive the downfall off of the first wave. And then they're sitting there, the main character and Dr. Brand, they're arguing as to where they're supposed to go next.
Yeah.
They finally get up out of the planet. They had wasted 23 years
Oh shit.
of Earth time on that planet.
And how long were they there for?
They don't really tell you how many hours they were there, but if you can do the math, you'd be able to find out.
Okay, so it wasn't like they were there for months.
No.
They were
They
only
had-
there for like a day, if that's what
On
it
the
basically
planet,
looked
yeah.
like.
And
Okay.
how they described it is by the time they had arrived, the lady they were looking for had probably only just landed there minutes before them
Okay.
due to the time shift.
So where did she end up?
She was crushed in the tidal waves.
Okay, so
That's what
she
they
just
assume.
didn't get out. She wasn't able to get out.
No. And they couldn't find her ship or the data that they were looking for. So they go back up to the main ship called the Endurance,
Yeah.
just from here on out, and they talk to the guy that they had left on the Endurance,
Yeah.
and he was sitting there and he's like, I was beginning to give up hope that you guys would return. And that's when you find out that they had spent 23 years Earth time on that planet.
Oh, like he just showed up there through the time shift? He wasn't there the entire time waiting?
He didn't go on the planet. He stayed on the ship to monitor the black hole.
Oh, okay. And was that... So he didn't go... Did they go through that black hole to get to the planet?
No. They
Oh.
just went down to the planet.
Oh,
So-
and so him...
He sat there 28 years.
Yeah, he sat up there for 23 years, and they were only down there for like a couple hours.
Oh my god. That's what I was trying to get at, basically.
Yeah,
Holy
'cause-
shit, that poor dude.
Yeah, he was alone on there for 23 years, and he found out a bunch of stuff. But anyway,
So basically, so when they came back up to him, now he was already
Much
aged 23 years.
yes, and they show it too. They
Okay.
he has gray hairs in his beard, but yeah, he has gray hairs in his beard. He looks much older.
Okay.
They have like makeup on him, and that's where the movie starts taking a turn for more emotional, because now him and Dr. Brand, Cooper and Dr. Brand, have 23 years worth of messages that they had received from their families.
Oh.
And when Cooper had left Earth, he was on good terms with his son Tom, but not so much with his daughter Murphy. She
Yeah.
didn't want him to go at all, and when he left, she was extremely mad at him.
Yeah.
So the first couple of messages that he sees, she's not even on there at all. And his son is now an adult.
Yeah.
When he left, they were teenagers. And his daughter was 10 years old.
Okay. So she's now 33.
Yeah, and he hasn't gotten a message from her yet.
Like, at all.
Not up to that point, no.
Okay.
And then his son thought he was dead at that point, and said that he's going to stop sending messages. And then he does eventually get a message from his daughter, and it's enough to make someone cry. She's talking about it, saying, you promised me that when you left, when the time you returned, we would be the same age. Well, yesterday was my birthday, and now I'm the same age that you were when you left. And yeah,
that's sad.
after all of that happens, they go to the next planet. They call it Dr. Man's planet.
Yeah.
To find him like pretty much given up. He was in cryosleep without an awaken date. So they wake him up, and he explains about the planet that he's on, that it's got a surface, it has organics on it, it has air that is kind of breathable, but only for a few minutes, but nothing that can't be fixed through terraforming.
So like a very smoggy air, something that would incapacitate you really quickly.
Yeah.
Is
The
time
gravity
any
there
different
is-
on that planet as well?
No.
Oh.
It's not close enough to the
Okay.
Each,
Black
I suspect they're gonna have their own quirks to them.
yeah. And
Okay.
The atmosphere of this planet is cold and frozen,
Mm-hmm.
and the days are 67 hours long, and so
Oh.
are the nights, and it only has 80% of Earth's gravity on that planet.
Ain't too bad.
Nope, not at all.
That's a C.
Then Dr. Man turns on him.
Oh.
He betrays them, tries to kill Cooper,
Uh-huh.
does end up killing the dude that was left on the ship on the Endurance.
poor
That was
dude.
left on the ship for 23 years.
23 years for
never
that
mind.
shit?
He been a lonely man.
Yeah,
Now he's-
and this guy blows him up. Sets a
ass.
bomb, rigs it, blows him up, and then he steals Cooper's ship and tries to go up to the Endurance and tries to dock the Endurance so he can get into the black hole, or not the black hole, into the wormhole and get the fuck out of there because he's pussy. This guy's played by Matt Damon, by the way, so it doesn't really fit. But he steals the ship, goes up to the Endurance, tries to dock it, but it's not the same model of ship that he's used to. So he's trying to do the docking process and it's not working. So he manually overrides it, blows the fucking ship up, wrecks the Endurance, and sends it spiraling and spinning. So Cooper and Dr. Brand take the other dude's ship, go up there, and try to stop it from spinning, the Endurance, and then they make a plan. The whole plan was to slingshot their ship around the black hole to get it to the next planet and start Plan B, which I'll talk about in a second. They do this, and Cooper sends TARS, which is a robot they had on the mission with them,
Yeah.
into the black hole to transmit the data back to Dr. Brand so they can finish a gravitational equation that Professor Brand was working on.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ejects himself off the ship to lighten the load so they can send the rocket even further, and then he goes into the black hole. During the whole thing, there's Plan A to the mission and a Plan B. Plan A is send Cooper and them over to the habitable planets, rescue the pilots,
Mm-hmm.
and then head back to Earth. Well, that doesn't happen because Plan A was never real. He never finished the gravitational equation, kind of gave up on it, and then gave that Plan A as a promise to Cooper that he'd be able to get back to Earth in time to see his daughter. That was never part of the plan.
So, like, he can go back
No,
in time, kind of?
they were all just basically talked into going. They
was a
they were
rescue
told
mission.
whatever it took to get them to go.
Mm-hmm.
It did because it was going to be regardless. It's going to happen the way they wanted it to happen. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter whether you were going to come back or not. That's on you to get back. Basically, there is
Yeah.
no guarantee.
And so
But they're going to tell you what you want to hear to get you to go.
we learned this from Professor Brand on his deathbed, telling the adult Murphy, who is now a scientist for NASA,
Mm-hmm.
that his entire equation for Plan A was never real. So she gets in contact with her dad and Dr. Brand, and that's why Dr. Brand is getting the equation, like the data from the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's getting it, is to send it to Murphy so she can finish the equation. Now, things get a little weird. As Cooper goes into the black hole, he gets like pulled into like some type of fifth dimension or something,
Yeah.
which is behind his daughter's bookcase.
Okay.
He starts like pushing on it and he's freaking out. He finally sees her, even though he knows she's not that old, and then sees him, and then he's like, okay, I need to come up with something. He thinks of something on the fly, tries to like push out the books in some sort of code. He tries binary, it doesn't work, and so he ends up going with Morse code. He somehow gets in contact with TARS. I don't fucking know how. Just movie magic. He gets in contact with TARS. TARS gives him like the data to spell out, and he uses Morse code, and he tells his daughter how to finish the equation through time and space by pushing on books in the middle of a black hole.
Oh my god. And how old is she in this case that when she learned that?
She was 33.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that happens, and the movie goes black for a while, and he is left drifting near Saturn, where the wormhole is,
Okay.
and people rescue him, take him back to they called it, put short, he saved the world. His daughter saved the world.
Okay.
With the
the
info
equation.
he had given by doing the book tippity tappity dappity with.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's your classic love story.
Yeah, and then
Just
he
keep
ends
it
up
in the
making
books.
he ends up making it back to see his daughter, who is now extremely old,
Oh.
on her deathbed.
Damn.
Old bag.
And she gives him one final mission, and it's to go and save Dr. Brand.
Didn't he die?
That's the end of the movie.
But didn't he die?
Who?
Dr. Brand?
That was Professor Brand.
Who's Dr. Brand?
Dr. Brand was the chick that was with him.
Oh.
Where the fuck's she at?
That's Professor Brand's daughter. She was with Cooper the entire time. I've been talking about her.
Well, no, yeah, but where is she at now then?
She went to the other planet.
Was it
Oh,
the
third
water?
oh, she hopped off. They split. One went right, the other went left.
Yeah.
Now
She-
he gotta go, like, you know what I'm saying? It's
okay.
like a beer run. You go get the beer and cigarettes. I'm gonna run down to the guy's house and get the bag of green.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, he ends up using. That's what that whole plot was for. Was they were gonna go with Plan B, and whip the ship around Gargantua to the third planet to start colonizing it with. They called it a population bomb,
Okay.
which was just to introduce species to a habitable environment,
Okay.
and then natural selection takes on from there. And
What have you?
But now the planet was habitable already?
it had the best odds out of all three planets.
Oh, okay. It was kind of the winner by,
Yeah. So
default.
they used the rest of the fuel and gravity to slingshot the ship over to the third planet.
Okay.
And that's where Dr. Brand went while Cooper was in the black hole.
And so she's been there for
Oh.
23 years.
And
Chilling. Like
I
a
don't know
villain.
how the time relativity works
okay.
through there, but
Yeah.
he ends up getting back towards our solar system. I think our solar system's called Sol.
Sounds about right.
I don't know.
I think our solar system's called Sol, and finds his daughter, who is like, "Go save her. She needs you. She's out there alone while she's with her family, dying."
Oh.
And,
Nice.
the last things he says to her is, no parent should have to watch their own kid die."
Not even
And
I
then
love
sends
you?
him- no, and then sends him on his merry way to go and save that chick.
There you go.
Kinky.
But yeah, as for a rating, this is a 10 out of 10. Emotional movie, epic music.
It's a pretty low score.
Well, I
10
mean,
out of
it's
10?
Yeah.
hey, I do give it to you on it is a pretty good movie because your mother really likes it too and stuff, and she raves about it. I'm sure it's a really good movie as far as the way it's written and performed, the whole nine. It's for me, it's just more than I can really grasp is
Yeah.
like I'm not by saying I'm not into that. I don't mean that I'm not into it. It's just kind of I've never really gotten into that type
Yeah.
of thing because it's just too many questions.
The whole thing for the movie of why I like it is the twists and turns that it puts you through. I've never cried at any movie. This is the only movie that has ever made me cry.
Yeah. It holds a special place in your heart. I know what you mean.
Amazing music,
Mhm.
orchestrated.
I still find it really weird he gave it such a low score at 10 out of 10. Why he didn't break the scale for this, considering it's one of his favorite
I
movies.
do get what you're saying,
But, you
yeah.
know.
But I see how how much he enjoys it though. That's a good thing.
Especially with the fact that he loves space and all that stuff.
yeah.
It's really
Well-
good tie-in for your interests.
Well, yeah, by Disney and everything's standards, we should have already been in space by the cartoons that they were showing me. We should have been
Oh, yeah.
far beyond this.
That's
by
a whole
now.
nother. That's like a whole
Oh,
like
yeah.
coffee bar discussion we can
Very-
even talk
oh,
about
yeah.
something
But,
like that.
But I did see the movie and I did thought it was pretty good. It's just real long, and it's if you're into it, I can see where you can be sucked in.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Not
So-
everyone's cup of tea. It is very long. It's sort of. a
Oh, definitely.
napper.
But the way you described it, I was just so into it. It's the main reason I didn't say anything for most of your review is I was actually just so into what you were saying. I'm like, this just sounds so dope. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it-
oh, please God. It was when you were talking about the water planet and the tsunamis, I'm like, oh God, no, that's not cool.
It's far as like the visual effects to it. You can the way you're explaining, you can see it. It's
Oh,
pretty
definitely.
good.
Yeah. Huge
All right,
waves that
so-
scrape clouds.
All in it. So with this, we'll call it Bubba's Corner and everything, and we really appreciate it. That was a good review, Bubba. I liked
you.
it.
Thank you
What do
very
you
much.
think,
It was
son?
an absolute top tier 97 out of 10 review. See
I
how
no,
what
I will
did
tell
there?
you, because like he said, keeping his but for Son to keep his mouth out of it and just sit and listen tells you a lot there, buddy. I'll tell you. He's going for the ride. That's a good deal. So, all right. I guess we'll kick it over to the next segment, huh, Sons?
Yep.
Indeed.
Did your spouse beat you to a top-notch lawyer?
Well, here at We're Just As Good Law Firm, we can help you from getting completely taken to the bank.
That's right. With us by your side, we will help stop the inevitable decimation of your life.
You won't win against them, but at least with us, you won't have your ass handed to you in a silver platter.
So here are some testimonial clients that we have helped to keep from living in a cardboard box.
My name is James, and every man's worst fear is getting divorced. So imagine my surprise when it happened to me. But I didn't freak out, no. I tried to go to Yes We're Winners law firm, but imagine my surprise when she got there first. So I went to We're Just As Good law firm, and if they didn't get me the house, or the dog, or the yacht, or anything really, but they did get me one thing, and that's my holographic Charizard card. So at least now, I can live on the streets and be safe. Thank you, We're Just As Good as law firm.
When my wife divorced me, she got the best of the best. So I went to We're Just As Good As law firm. She may have gotten almost everything, but at least I got my Heelys. Thanks, We're Just As Good As.
I'm Brett. That horrible wife of mine beat me to that Yes We're Winners law firm, so I ran my ass right to Just As Good As law firm. Thanks to them, I'm able to live in a sleeping room in a rundown part of town and not by the train tracks or under a bridge. Thank you, We're Just As Good As law firm. I'm Fred. I was blindsided by divorce papers. She hired the best, so I ran to We're Just As Good As law firm and was able to keep the shirt on my back. No, seriously, the judge actually let me keep the shirt on my back. I didn't have to give it to her. Thanks, guys. That whore.
And now for DTZ Entertainment's News Bulletin. And for the first posted ad, we have Sudsy Sally's Car Wash, and it is a job ad. Are you looking for a fun and existing place to work? Need cash now, or else you're moving into a cardboard box? Well, come and apply to Sudsy Sally's Car Wash. We don't discriminate as long as you have at least a good working eye and a thumb. Does the idea of working hard and showing up on time appeal to you? If so, apply today and receive less than minimum wage and full 90-hour work week. Oh, and it also says something here at the bottom. If you've previously been fired from us, do not apply again. Kevin.
Okay, time for the second ad we'll give them. Here's a good sponsor, too. Pays well. Here at Herb's Meth World, we have all your favorite brands of meth under one roof. Just name a few like Biker's Meth, Hillbillies Meth, Mexican Cartel Meth, Science Lab Meth, and if you prefer the independent meth maker brands like Junior High School Dropout and Half a Tooth Trailer Park Trash Meth, we have you covered there. We also have a large selection of meth paraphernalia, along with the most experienced staff. So when you're tweaking, don't be freaking. Run down to Herb's Meth World today. We'll have you high in no time. Herb's Meth World is located at the corner of Loser and Hopeless. This has been Coffee Bar Stories and your host, Dad,
Son,
And Bubba. And don't forget to check out our socials at www.dtzentertainment.com and also on Facebook at www.facebook.com/@DTZ Entertainment. Check out the description below, and we'll see you next time.